welcome in today on HHS-TV an interview with our U.S. representative, an interview with Mayor Grady, an interview with some footage from Mr. Harriton, robotics, and enrollment growth. That's all right now, live from the Harriton High School television studio in Rosemont, Pennsylvania. This is the Ram Report.
Hello, I'm Ben Feldman.
Along with Desul Kim.
For today's Ram Report, firstly, we would like to welcome Desul to the program. We're very happy to have you here.
Thanks, Ben. I'm happy to be here.
Today's show will be a little longer than usual as we have a lot of content built up since Mr. Harriton. So let's get right to the news. This past Monday, our representative in Congress, Dwight Evans, held a town hall in Marion. Our own Ricky Reports was not only there, but he also secured an interview with the Congressman to discuss issues important to high school students. Here is his report.
Ricky Reports here outside the Marion Tribute House where U.S. Representative Dwight Evans just wrapped up a town hall meeting with his constituents here in Lower Marion Township. At his first town hall in Lower Marion, Dwight Evans was met with applause from his fellow Democrats at the Marion Tribute House. Evans is a first-term congressman representing Pennsylvania's 2nd District, which includes Lower Marion as well as parts of North and West Philadelphia. The event, held Monday night, allowed members of the community to ask their representative questions, most of which concerned Donald Trump and health care. At the conclusion of the meeting, I had the opportunity to speak with Representative Evans to talk about issues important to high school students. My first question regarded the cost of college. Representative Evans, the cost of public education in the country has continued to rise. What can the government do, the federal government do, to curb those costs to make it easier for people to attend college?
Well, I think that at the end of the day, there's a number of things that we can do in terms of higher ed, like find ways to make sure the first couple years are free. The first 2 years of community colleges should be free. The education is extremely essential to move the country forward, but also to protect our democracy, because an educated voter is extremely important as we try to have a better society. So, as I said to you, try to have the first 2 years of school be free, and the way that you can try to pay for that is through a financial transaction tax, through transactions that would pay for it.
In Lower Marion and across the nation, there's been a movement against standardized testing. I wanted to know your thoughts on the issue.
Well, I think that it should be more than just testing. I think it should be all around. Testing should be one part of it, but testing should not be the sole determining factor in terms of if a student moves forward.
During the election, a lot of young people became very interested in the ideas of Bernie Sanders, who is far to the left of most Democrats in Congress. I want to know, do you think that that is the future of the Democratic Party, moving farther to the left?
That's a good question. I don't know if it is, but what's most important is that Bernie ideas, like Hillary Clinton ideas, like Tom Perez and Keith Ellis, that we all come together, because we're better and stronger together when we work together. And I think that we need to have young people. I think it's important for folks like yourself to be involved either in the media, public office, run for office, whatever, because this is your democracy, this is your future, and this is what we're fighting for. We're fighting to have a society that is inclusive, that has everybody has a chance, and that's what we want to have, a better society.
Reporting from the Marion Tribute House for HHS-TV, I am Ricky Reports.
Thanks, Ricky. After 4 terms in office, Narberth Mayor Grady has announced that he will not run for re-election. Ben recently sat down with the mayor to discuss his decision not to run, his interest in politics, and his advice for high school students. Here is our own Ben Feldman with Mayor Grady.
Mr. Mayor, thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Ben. Thanks for coming over to the borough.
So first, I'd like to know what made you want to be a part of local politics? Why did you want to become mayor?
I'm a firm believer in community service. I have a pretty active business, a wonderful family. I think it's important to give something back to the community. So I worked my way through council. I was on council for 4 years. I've been mayor of Narberth for the past 12 years. So I have about 16 years of community service in place right now. And I'm not done. I just want to move on to other things as well. So I'm looking forward to new adventures with regard to what I'm going to do.
Now, what do you think were some of your greatest achievements as mayor of Narberth?
Bringing the community more together. Narberth is, how it's transitioned over a period of time is people recognize Narberth as a wonderful place to live with their families and children and for all the events we have in town. That wasn't when I started. We were sort of like, there's Narberth and it's surrounded by Lower Merion. Now most people consider Narberth way into far depths of Lower Merion.
Have you ever found local politics here in Narberth to be divisive?
It is, at times. You just have to get beyond it sometimes and see compromise. Part of the problems where parties fail is to not draw that compromise, and that's been the bane of a lot of societies and a lot of events.
Now, of course, you're not going to be running for another term in November.
No.
What was the reasoning behind that decision?
I saw a lot of younger families coming into the borough. I think it's time for younger families to have their say. I think it's important that they lend their voice to the town and the community. For me, being on for 16 years, I had a wonderful experience, a wonderful time. I had my opportunity to lend my voice and to do those things in the borough. But I think it's important for those others, that the newer people to come in with families and children, to step up and lend their voice to how they want to see the town run as well.
What do you intend to do in the last few months of your term?
I'll serve out the balance of term. I'm going to do the same as I've always done. I mean, there's Memorial Day parades, there's places to go, there's events. We have baseball coming up in the borough, which is a favorite time of mine. Basketball. My Sophie's going to be playing the summer league still, and I'm going to be helping her move out into college, her next level. Step. So it's an exciting time.
Do you have any advice for high schoolers today?
Yeah, get involved. Don't get disenchanted with regard to what's going on in the national level. Things change. I've been mayor through the Bush years, through the Obama years, and the beginning of the Trump years of presidency. I would tell high schoolers to get involved in their community and then make a change and make a difference with regard to it. And don't get disenchanted.
Oh, thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Ben. Take care of yourself. Be good. Thanks again.
Thanks to Mayor Grady for agreeing to an interview. If I understand correctly, we actually have some breaking news out of the studio about that election to fill Mayor Grady's spot. We have Davis Burton in the studio for more.
Hello, Harriton. My name is John Downravich, and this is my friend Davis Burton. As you just heard, Mayor Tom Grady has recently announced that he will not be running for re-election of the borough of Narberth. Now, for Davis and I, and many members of the Narberth community, this is extremely sad to hear, as he's been the mayor for pretty much our entire lives. Over the years, we have been lucky enough to work with Mayor Grady to create countless events and to really foster a sense of community in the town. Now, this year, working in your student government, we've been able to have an experience that taught us how to work with others and to create events that, again, really foster a sense of township and pride in one's community. Now, as Mayor Grady retires and we move out of Harriton, it's time that we look to the future, and we're very excited for the opportunities that come ahead. Now, that being said, Davis Burton has a special announcement.
I, Davis Burton, would like to officially announce my candidacy for the mayor of Narberth in the 2017 election, alongside my campaign manager, John Diamond-Rivich. I've been a member of the community for nearly all my life, and I believe that I have what it takes to serve our unique goals and interests. I would like to thank you all, the students of Harriton High School, in advance for your support with this endeavor. For more information and to stay updated on our campaign, please visit www.davisburton.com. Once again, thank you, Harriton, and now back to the news desk.
Wow, thanks Davis. His campaign website, once again, is davisburton.com. Moving on now with regularly scheduled content, we mentioned at the top of the show that we have not had a regular Ram report since Mr. Harriton. So naturally, Ricky's Mr. Harriton recap still has not played. Finally, here is part 1 of Ricky's Mr. Harriton recap.
Ricky reports here in the Harriton Auditorium where Mr. Harriton 2017, the party of the decade, just concluded. And it was a party indeed. For the 10th year in a row, the Harriton Auditorium was filled to the brim with people who came to witness Harriton's biggest event, Mr. Harriton. So who was crowned this year?
In first place, and Mr. Harriton 2017, Joel Danilevitz.
Every single person in this is so incredible. Oh my God, I wish you guys could all be, we are all Mr. Harriton. This is every one of us and the officers, everyone's amazing.
Joel won over the judges with his talent, in which he sung a song deeply personal to him.
Anything to get you back by my side, but I just keep on laughing. I'm hiding the tears in my eyes, 'cause boys don't cry. Boys don't cry.
I spoke to Joel after the show. He told me he was trying to send this message.
there is a very defined line between being masculine and being feminine. And I've always been one who kind of has questioned that a lot, who hasn't tried to adhere to standards that I think really just suppress the emotions of young men and also work in detriment to a more equal and fair society.
Joel said that it was all more important that he send this message in a competition about young men. In second place was Will Hoffman, who, well, you'll see. Hoffman was inspired by an SNL skit. He spent the first month of rehearsal learning the dance and the second month learning how to do it in 4-inch heels.
You know, every girl I talked to was like freaking out about how difficult it was going to be for me, and was like, gotta shower in them and like walk around the house, but like it really wasn't that hard. So any guy who wants to try wearing heels out there, don't listen to him. It's really not that bad.
Mr. Harriton 2017 was a party to remember. Reporting from my fourth and final Mr. Harriton, I am Ricky Reports.
Ricky assures us that the full Mr. Harriton video will be released in the next few days. Now over to Nick Merriam in the other side of the studio with sports.
Guys, welcome to my very own new sports segment, which will now air on every Ram Report. It's right to the left of the main news desk, which is great because I can see Ben and DeSuel's faces during the entire show. I'm going to talk about the simple subject to start off. March Madness. Duke lost because they can't rebound. Nova lost because Wisconsin is underseeded. Michigan upset Louisville on Sunday, continuing their amazing run. Watch out for Michigan. If I could go back and change my bracket, I would have them winning a championship right now. They are playing with passion right now. It's fantastic. Also, I'm going to shout out Narberth Rugby, who went 5-0 in the Frostbite tournament to start their season off. What does that mean? Well, it means they won, first of all, the Frostbite tournament, and have hopes for a great season in 2017. That's my quick take. Now back to the news desk.
Thanks, Nick. A team of Harriton students has raised the most money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society out of 12 candidates from schools around the area. Harriton's team raised $23,000.
Harriton Robotics Club recently competed at their state competition. Here's Max Harris with more.
On Saturday, March 4th, Harriton Robotics competed in the Eastern Pennsylvania States competition at Norristown High School. The robot was equipped with a new pneumatics pinching system now, rather than the traditional claw, which was used at prior conferences. However, due to a shortage of air and a lack of testing, the pneumatics ultimately failed. In between rounds, the team was hard at work ripping apart the robot in order to save the team's chances. Though the team's robot underwent 3 separate surgeries at this competition, the team still competed at the finals bracket. In the end, the team did not win a trophy for winning the tournament, but for the team's sportsmanship, generosity, and overall good attitude, Team 197 was awarded the Sportsmanship Trophy, which is currently in the trophy case outside of room 222, along with other robotics-related trinkets. Now back to the news desk.
Thanks, Max. Narberth will not be moving forward with the controversial plan that would have added a stormwater management system next to Narberth Park. As a result of the project, the ball fields would have become smaller. The project was canceled due to high costs.
Competition this past Friday and Saturday. There were 5 Harriton students to make it to elimination rounds in their respective events, which is the most Mr. Harriton has ever sent to such rounds. In the end, Jonas Samuels got number 4 in the state in commentary, Kayla Fink got number 12 in the state in impromptu, Ben Feldman got number 5 in the state in Lincoln Douglas debate, Graham Branscombe got number 8 in the state in Senate, and Camilla Madera got number 4 in the state in prose. Congratulations to the entire speech and debate team on their amazing performance at states.
Enrollment has always been a key issue in Lower Merion School District. Our own Ricky Sayer will be reporting on enrollment in the district for the next few shows. Here is part 1 of Ricky's enrollment growth video.
Hello, I'm Ricky Reports for HarritonTV. It was 3 years ago when I stood at this very spot and told the community that in a few years' time, it would all become this building that's here today, here at the Welsh Valley Middle School campus. It's all the result of enrollment growth that has grown at a higher rate than previously expected. This classroom addition was merely a set of blueprints when I first reported on Lower Merion's enrollment growth. That was back in the fall of 2013, when the district's overall student count passed 7,800 students. Now, just 3 school years later, and enrollment has jumped by nearly 500 students. As Superintendent Copeland explains, Lower Merion's enrollment increase has far outpaced any other school district in the entire state of Pennsylvania.
We have the fastest growing enrollment. Over the last 8 years, we've added 1,474 students. And the next fastest growing school district added about 870. So the enrollment growth has been astounding.
Right as enrollment began to rise, the district built 2 new high schools. Less than 10 years later, they have both exceeded or reached their intended capacity. To cope with the new enrollment, the district has added classrooms to 5 of its schools. The growth has put more than just a strain on district facilities. Enrollment has led to redistricting, contributed to controversial increases in taxes, and the hiring of nearly 100 teachers. The defining question: how to handle the growth in a way that keeps a high quality of education while being fiscally responsible. The enrollment isn't expected to slow down anytime soon either. Over the next 10 years, 1,000 more students are expected to enter the district, 700 of those at the high schools. It's why I, in the final months of being a student in the district, am revisiting the topic. On this multi-part Ricky Reports, I will look into enrollment's history in the district, how it's been handled in the past, why it's occurring, how much it's expected to increase and where, and the biggest overall question: how the district plans to handle it. Many options are on the table, including building new schools. Reporting for Harriton High School Television, I am Ricky Reports.
And that'll be all for today's Rain Report. Signing off, this is Sol Kim
And Ben Feldman.
from all of us here at HHTV. Thanks for watching the Rain Report.